Chapter 3 Shop Part 1. Students in the hero department typically use informal speech with their peers, regardless of rank, age, or race. This tradition has continued for over 200 years since Elinia Academy was established. Naturally, there was resistance from the nobles at first. They argued that it was unacceptable for their children to be spoken to so casually by those beneath them. However, the founder and first headmaster of the academy, Ryuk, dismissed their concerns. At the time, Ryuk was the continent's only active hero and a figure revered more than any nation. He told the objecting nobles, "If you don't like it, don't enroll." Angered, they banded together to create an association and declared they wouldn't attend the academy. However, the association didn't last long. The commoner graduates from the academy were simply too strong. Commoner-born heroes gradually overturned the privileges held by the nobility with their overwhelming power. The Nobles Association only realized the severity of the problem after losing a significant amount of power. They couldn't keep up with the systematic education provided by the academy. The Nobles Association eventually pledged long-term cooperation with the academy and officially disbanded. That's a much-abridged history of the informal speech tradition at the academy. At first, many newly enrolled students find it awkward to use informal speech, but they adapt after about a month. The hero department is strictly merit-based. Only strength matters. Even those from noble families won't be treated well if they lack skill. That's why. The heir of a duke's family, the prince of a beastman tribe, and the princess of the wood elves all communicate casually with commoners within the academy. Because even if they're commoners now, upon graduation, they'll join the privileged class of heroes. However, exceptions always exist. There are occasionally people who consider it a humiliation to even share the same space with commoners. One of the most prominent examples is the character, Theo. It had been quite some time since I started exercising. Ugh. It seemed like at least an hour had passed, but Neek and Peel showed no signs of stopping their workout, so I continued as well. It was painful, but quite rewarding. Currently, I was doing deadlifts with a weight that would put most professional bodybuilders to shame. I took occasional sips of water, but barely rested at all. This level of physical performance would be impossible for a modern human. My tenacity had long surpassed its limits. The constant stinging pain was bearable, less painful than when I violated my dignity trait. But now, I was physically at my limit. My entire body trembled like a leaf. I wanted to do more since I came all the way to the training ground, but I should stop here. I wiped my sweat-soaked body with a towel. Then, unexpectedly, a quest window appeared. You have cleared the hidden quest. You have acquired 10 silver coins for the shop as a reward. Increased stats without item help, repeatable. You have cleared a hidden quest for the first time. You have acquired 1 gold coin for the shop as a reward. You have increased your stats for the first time. You have acquired 1 gold coin for the shop as a reward. Total rewards, 2 gold coins for the shop, 10 silver coins for the shop. What is this? I tilted my head and read the quest window several times. When I checked my status, my tenacity had risen to 3. Even with intense training, my stats shouldn't have increased this quickly. Was it because it was so low? But it was nice to have rewards. What are gold coins and silver coins? They weren't in the original game. Swoosh. As I thought about it, a transparent window softly glowing like an information screen appeared before my eyes. But I had seen this shop window somewhere before. Right. It was the shop from the patch notes of the original game. A system added to lower the entry barrier. As if proving my thoughts, in the upper right corner of the shop window. Owned currency, 2 shop gold coins, 10 shop silver coins. The owned currency was displayed, identical to the quest rewards. So, in the shop, what can I really buy? Corinne Xena Chronicles is a difficult game where, unless you choose an easy route like a mage or paladin, even the normal ending is hard to achieve. Since the shop system was added to lower the entry barrier, there's a high chance it offers useful items. Whew. I'm really lucky. It seems that even if I transmigrated into a third-rate character, I'm not doomed to die as one. The hidden quest system was still intact. In the original game, clearing them had no special rewards, so only hardcore players like me bothered with them. I took a break and browsed the shop. Not long after, and NBSP few. Finished. It seemed like Neek had finished exercising. It had been a long and tiring session. I closed the shop window and pretended to stretch, perking up my ears. Kwang. Neek put down a barbell that looked at least twice as heavy as what I could handle. As expected of someone with an average stat of 12, a true superhuman. Peel, another superhuman with an average stat of 11, placed her barbell down with a bitter expression. I lost, again. No, I just happened to be in good condition today. Neek flashed a kind smile, and Peel glared at him with a humiliated expression. Let's do this again tomorrow. Of course, Peel. You're always welcome. The two started to chat. Neek continued to speak with a smile, while Peel responded, albeit reluctantly. It was the same pattern as in the game. In the early stages of the story, Neek was so pure and kind that he seemed foolish. To be honest, he was simply a pushover. After rescuing someone who obviously emitted "I'm the villain" vibes, getting stabbed in the back was a daily occurrence. Seeing Neek like this, players would curse and complain about the suffocating feeling and the repetitive nature of the story. Of course, I was one of them. Even after seeing more than 100 different endings, I still felt the same. Anyway, they talked quite a bit. It seemed like their conversation wouldn't end anytime soon. Twisted Noble's dignity. Because of this cursed trait, I couldn't stop pretending to stretch. I had to maintain an attitude of disinterest in whatever they were discussing. Did my feelings somehow reach them? Soon, Neek mentioned me. By the way, Peel. About Theo. Has he always worked out? It's my first time seeing him in the training hall. There's no way. He's only got his family name to boast. A good-for-nothing who neither has skills nor puts in any effort. Peel's voice, filled with contempt, reached my ears. An insult that would enrage anyone. But I decided to endure it. I needed to look at the bigger picture. My goal right now was to engage in a conversation with Neek, not to fight with Peel. I didn't want to add another cause of death when I was already dying for numerous reasons. But for some reason, my trait Twisted Noble's dignity didn't activate. I didn't feel any pain. It meant that it didn't violate Theo's own dignity. Theo, you useless guy. No matter how weak you are, aren't you supposed to get angry after hearing that? Phew. I couldn't help but sigh. Hearing it directly, I realized the extent of it. I knew Theo's reputation was bad, but I didn't expect it to be this terrible. One's reputation was included in the Academy's grading system. I urgently needed to improve my image. Anyway, they were talking about me. It was a good time to join the conversation. Having finished stretching, I approached the two sitting down, specifically Neek. Neek, do you have a moment? Is that okay? Ugh. It seemed my trait was activated again since I spoke to Neek, a commoner, first. I forced a smile through the pain. Neek looked at me, seemingly surprised. Well, as long as it's not too long. We have classes tomorrow morning. Anyway, what's up, Theo? It's not something to discuss when others are around. I briefly glanced at Peel and averted my gaze. I could make a mistake in my speech due to the pain. While kind-hearted Neek would forgive any slip-ups, Peel would not. It would only worsen her perception of me. Peel spoke with a hint of annoyance. It's obvious what you want to talk about. Ever since before, you've been telling this guy not to get carried away because he's a commoner. No. I cut off Peel's words. Neek, it's about your training methods. I figured that if I heard Neek's training methods, I'd be able to find out which route he was following. However, it seemed completely unexpected to Neek, who hesitated to speak. Peel had a "what the heck is this guy talking about" expression. After a brief silence, Neek found his words. My training methods? What do you mean by that? It's not something to discuss when others are around. It's a bit embarrassing, but I'm curious about your training methods. Theo, I can tell you, but what's going on? Just 2 days ago, you said it was disgusting even to talk with a commoner. Neek genuinely seemed curious about what was happening with me. Peel nodded from the side. She showed no intention of leaving and just stared at me with an ambiguous expression. Enduring the pain, I bowed my head slightly towards Neek. I've realized it. One's background has nothing to do with strength. You are strong. Can you tell me about your training methods?